just in recapping the day, I keep saying this. I love the energy. I mean, and we're starting to actually be able to execute a little bit on both sides of the ball. When we're actually able to run a play and get a snap and hand the ball off, and everybody going in the right direction. And the same thing on defense, because so many times you look at a good play on offense and you've had a breakdown on defense or vice versa. And we still got a long ways to go. As I said the other day, if we're putting together a puzzle, we're maybe getting the edges together right now. Maybe. But we still got a long way to go, and we don't have to see the completed picture until we go to NC State to open the season. But I like the way they're working. I like the way it's starting to come together right now, and I'm liking what I'm seeing with their attitude and the way they're working. No, the snaps were much better today. You come out here in day one and you can't run a play. You can't run a play in inside. You can't run a play in team because the balls are on the ground. They're over the quarterback's head. They're to the left. They're to the right. I made the comment you got to be half gymnast to play quarterback around here and field a snap. But you know what? These guys, they've worked at it. And I think Coach Moore's done a great job of coaching it up. And at least if you can get a snap, you have a chance to run a play. You have a chance to put everything together. But if you can't get the snap, we're wasting 22 guys' time out there on the field. So that's an important part of it, and it's getting better. We've still got a long way to go. Well, Paul Turner and DJ Banks have had a great season so far. When you go back to the 10 winter workouts we had, the way they're leading, the way they're working, some of the things that they're doing. Hunter Lee is another guy throwing that. Gilyard's another guy throwing that as receivers that have done a great job. But today, some guys showed up, with the ball in the air a little bit. And I think one of the things that both Banks and Turner have the opportunity to bring us is a running ability after they catch the ball. I mean, both of them are very elusive. They're fast, they're quick, and they have a chance to make something happen with it once they catch it. And that's one of the advantages to running the spread and putting everybody in space, and then having giving the ball to your best athletes and giving them an opportunity to do something with it. And he obviously catches them very naturally. We catch punts every day, and he's been catching the ball extremely natural. He does a great job with it. And all that quickness and athleticism we just talked about in space, there's not any more space than there is on kickoff and on punt. I think Scotty, the first 3 days, everybody asked me after day one to evaluate the quarterbacks. Yeah, but after day one, it's like evaluate the quarterbacks. It's like, we're a long way from putting anybody in a position where they're ready to really be evaluated. But I think what he did yesterday and today, I really think he has a chance to be a really good player. I mean, we're still a long way from that point at this stage of where we are, but I think he is showing signs of really taking control, being the upperclassman, stepping in the huddle, taking charge with the offensive line and as a leader as well. And I think a lot of that is showing with this play. I kept saying, standing back behind it, is that we're blowing the whistle, an early whistle. It's kind of like as soon as there's contact, he's down. I don't want to turn every one of these into a scrimmage with guys on the ground. We got to make sure we keep everybody healthy, and that's one of the big concerns I have right now. Just we need every day of practice we can get out of this football team, and I don't want anybody to miss a day. So we're blowing a quick whistle, but I must have said 10 times today, when it's live, they still got to tackle them. Right now they're getting there and they're putting their hands on it, but when you look at some of the moves he's made, it's not hard to see why he was such a phenom as a freshman for what he was able to do on the field. Well, I mean, Hunter Lee and a guy like Gilyard and Lyle Feet, I mean, all those guys, they could very easily go back there and play the running back position if they had to. They're strong, they're physical, they're aggressive, they're football players. And football players, you can't hide them. Whether you put them at receiver, running back, they're tough and they love to play the game. And I think Hunter Lee is tough and he loves to play this game, and it shows. It gives you that kind of depth, because when you look at our running back position right now, you've got a Kenneth Dixon, you've got Tevin King, who's injured right now, and then able to go through it. And you've got a lot of guys that are out here working hard, but knowing that if you got into a fix during the season and had some injuries, that you can move a guy like Hunter Lee to running back, you can move a guy like Lyle Feet to running back, and that just creates more depth, and it gives you more flexibility as an offense where you have a chance to play a little bit more of a two-back offense than we have in the past. Well, I mean, I think playing this game, it's about toughness, it's about fundamentals, it's about pad level. I think one of the negatives to running a spread offense is your defense doesn't get a lot of that. When we get in team, they don't get to see power and ISO and balls coming downhill and being run at them. And that's why so much of the individual drill that we do with the one-on-one blocking and the Oklahoma drill at the end where we're doing some 3-on-3, I think that's valuable for our defense, especially our defensive front. But it also helps your offensive line to understand what it's going to take to come off the ball and run it. That drill is 3rd and 1 every play. It's 3rd and 1 every play, and it makes even the linebackers are in it, the receivers and DBs are in it. It's just teaching everybody how to play the football game, and I think it's invaluable because it's hard to simulate that with the offense that we run. Kim Dameron and Ronnie Bradford have done a really good job of really kind of identifying what we have and what we're going to have to do to take these steps forward. When you look at losing 31 seniors and really probably 9 of those guys I think coming off the offensive side of the ball, we're going to have to win different ways than we did last year. We don't have the seasoned quarterback and the receivers with the experience and those 4 offensive linemen that we just lost. Those guys aren't back, and we're going to have to find other ways to win as a football team, and I think right now there's going to be a lot fall on the defense and the improvements that we have to make there, and that's all going to start in the secondary. There's some depth on this football team with D tackles, and where they all are at this point is going to be hard to evaluate until we can really get live. But again, the way they're working, the size, the athleticism, the quickness, there's a lot of them that have a chance to be pretty good, and I think that'll play to our benefit during the season because we're going to be able to play a couple people. You're not going to ask one guy to go out there and play 70 plays, but I think we do have some depth on the defensive line, and we're going to have to play to that. That's going to have to be one of our strengths as we get into the fall.